Welcome to Political Pop Culture, where the important and the not so important issues of the day are broken down, discussed, and occasionally even mocked and ridiculed by a couple regular guys from flyover country. I am JP, and with me as always is Erwin the Millennial. And today, we are going to be talking a little bit about who we are, why we're here, and just why you should care about what we have to say. We're also going to get a little bit into the cancel culture and why we use the pseudonyms JP and Erwin the Millennial. I mean, cancel culture is everywhere. It seems like nobody is immune these days, and you've got people from musicians to actors, from pundits to politicians. The ban hammer is falling on people of all ages, races, orientations, and political persuasions. And the thing is, the cancel culture doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care what you believe. It only cares about making sure that you never, ever, under any circumstances, say or do anything that could be even remotely construed as offensive by the ever-changing standards of the far left. I was minding my own business at home one evening, and I get a phone call out of nowhere, and Erwin's on the phone, and he finally said, what would you think about... And it wasn't even, at that point, it wasn't even as fleshed out as, hey, what would you think about doing a YouTube video? What would you think about doing a podcast? It was more of, what would you think about getting together and doing kind of something? It was almost like that scene from the Blues Brothers where Jake is in the church and the clouds part and the sun comes in and hits him and he lights up. And, I have seen the light because I had seen the light in that moment.
The catalyst of that thought really was that I believe that we're very much in the heat of a culture war, and we are currently losing. And it wasn't acceptable for me to be sitting on the sideline anymore, and that's exactly where I was sitting. We've got cancel culture mobs that will call your employer and try to get you fired because of something that you said that they might have disagreed with. They truly do believe that they're doing a public service. They truly do believe that they are the good guys fighting the bad, evil people.
I don't think that their motives are nefarious. I don't think that they're doing it out of some grand scheme to try and take over the world, not in the sense of cartoon villains. But the problem is when you try to force your line of thinking, your will onto somebody else, whether you're doing it for what you believe to be the right reasons or not, you're still doing something wrong.
I don't believe that anybody's views on politics really make them any worse or any better of a human. However, it really speaks to the idea that I truly believe that liberalism is some people's religion.
Well, yeah, it's definitely some of their religion. They've turned their back on God in favor of liberalism, and that's not a shot at people who do or don't believe. What you believe is entirely up to you. What I mean is, so many of these people have openly turned their back on what we would consider conventional religion or worship of a deity, in favor of the worship of, like you said, liberalism. That has become the religion of the far left.
We, as the non-left party, need to embrace that we are in the middle of a culture war. If you turn on Showtime, or if you turn on Hulu, if you turn on any mainstream institution right now, you're going to find that if you're not a hardcore leftist, you will not find anything from anybody that thinks what you do. But on top of that, the people that are religious in said shows are portrayed as crazy people.
Well, or the comic relief. You see that a lot too. I agree. We are in a culture war, and I also agree that it's a war that we're losing. And I think the reason that we're losing it is because we are, all of us, you, me, everybody listening to this right now on one level or another is afraid. And that is the real problem, is that we are afraid. We are afraid of the damage that we are going to incur if we dare have the audacity to speak up and stand up against this cancel culture. If we say anything that is perceived as remotely offensive, they're going to come after us. They're going to come after our livelihoods. They're going to come after our families. They're going to come after anything that they can to squeeze us, to hurt us, to shut us up. Hey, if you like what you hear so far, wait till you hear the full episode. We really get into some great detail on cancel culture, where it started, where it's going, and frankly, who's benefiting from it. Check the link below. Check out the full podcast. Thank you for listening.